In the studio, there we were poring over the stuff. As a fan, it was incredible to be in the studio, actually looking at the David Bowie stage clothes, which he'd all kept and all arrived in dry cleaning bags.
Well, I'd always been a huge fan of David Bowie. I had a poster of him on my wall when I was a kid. Vogue said they'd been given permission to use his clothes, but I just had a baby. I don't know how long after. Anyway, I wasn't match fit, but I could not say no, obviously, to the chance of actually wearing his clothes. So I squeezed in. We managed to flag it.
Anyway, we turned the Bowie music on full volume and just locked into the shoot. What I remember most was the powder blue suit that he's wearing in the Life on Mars video.
When I put that on, I felt it was history. And it was quite strong for British Vogue.
I think the makeup artist felt that it wasn't really right to recreate the lightning strokes herself. It was such an iconic piece and isn't well applied if you look at the actual Bowie picture. So we decided to be more modern, to do a great black and white portrait, and I did it digitally in the studio, just drawing them on in Photoshop, which is how we ran the cover in the end.
We were doing the Emma Watson story in Paris.
Yes.
And you were bringing everything from London.
Yes, and that was couture as well.
That was couture?
Yeah, stop saying that. But anyway, so we got to the station, it was midnight, because we were in the last train, and Jill, my assistant, said, "We've seen another suitcase on the train." I was like, what? So we got to the shoot, and I'd never met Emma before, and I said, "Okay, do you want good news or bad news?" The clothes have been stolen, but don't worry about it because it's Marriott. She went, "Are you joking?" I said, "No, but you know what? Marriott can do anything." And actually, everything for a reason. They're going to be better than if we'd had the clothes. The driver of the train had stolen all the clothes. He had taken all the couture out.
So he knew what couture was. He was better than me.
Oh, maybe he's a cross-dresser. Who knows? But anyway, he got it all. They caught him. But anyway, what was amazing is, so I was like, I'm rummaged around in my bag. I got a pair of sunglasses of mine, and then I took one of your assistant's jumpers, and then somebody was wearing a hat. I was like, I have the hat. And they were beautiful. I mean, it's interesting for me to look back on all these amazing trips that, you know, I've done with Tim. And I think what it sort of just shows is that every time we work together and every time we embark on one of these adventures, it's about creating something new. And we both know, you know, what and how far we would go to get that amazing picture, to find that perfect location, to match that perfect dress with that idea. And I think it's going to the ends of the earth for Vogue is really what we're here to do, and I think that's what makes the picture so memorable and so unique.
Well, the story of the British Vogue 1990 shoot with Peter Lindbergh and me and Christy and Linda and Tatiana and Naomi, the idea came about when Liz Tobaris asked Peter to shoot the face. Who did he think best represented the face of the 90s? And he said, I can't do it with one face. This was like us looking the way we looked pretty much. I mean, of course, there was hair and makeup there, but it was very natural makeup, very natural hair, these great Giorgio Di Sanangelo pieces, and mixed with our own Levi's. Peter Lindbergh, in one word, teddy bear.
I mean, he, to me, is like family, because I've known him since I'm 17 years old. We worked together a lot, so it was very familiar. There was nothing overwhelming about it. It was exciting and fun.
Tatiana is like, she's so womanly, and she has these incredible eyes. She was always kind of living in LA and would rather, you know, wanted to be with her horses and her animals.
He's eating my sweater. It's okay. Don't eat my sweater.
Did I have any idea of where I was headed?
Once you're in the momentum, it's like surfing a wave. And you don't know the size of the wave until it's behind you.
Like there was something in the air right around that late 80s time. When Peter shot this British Vogue cover, George Michael saw that cover and he decided he wanted that group of women, that exact group, and it had to be all of us. We all had to commit to do his new video for Freedom 90.
We drove back to England, listening to the radio and listening to the astonished coverage as the world found out what had happened. The magazine had gone to press and was at the printers. That week in London, as the pile of flowers and tributes outside Kensington Palace grew larger and larger, I really felt that we should be doing something. The magazine had styled and dressed Diana and really been part of her life. This was really at the beginning of kind of digital desktop publishing. I had low-resolution scans of the pictures that I'd kept on my computer. So I quickly mocked up this cover of her sitting in, I think it's a red Amanda Wakely dress, in this now iconic picture of her forming this triangle. And I simply wrote the obituary dates at the bottom.
We worked with Diana a couple of times for British Vogue, actually. This cover was done in London, and there was Sam McKnight, the hairdresser, and Mary Goodwell. We like to be casual, so we sit down on the floor and very natural.
I only had a very low resolution scan, like a kind of phone picture on my computer. So I tried to reach out to the photographer, Patrick Desmarchelier. I called Patrick. Of course he remembered the shoot. Of course he knew the picture. Did he have any prints? No, he didn't think he did. He had to leave. He didn't have time to do another one because he was leaving to get Concorde in 15 minutes. 10 minutes later, Patrick called me. Robin, he said, I found a print. I found it. He said, I'll bring it with me. So we arranged it. I was to meet him outside Westminster Abbey. As he was going in to attend the funeral of Diana, he passed the box with the print of Diana in it. I'd already done the layout with the low resolution. It was at our repro house in Verona, Italy. We did the colour separations. I did tiny bits of retouching and tweaks just to tidy up the colour. Flew back to England on Monday and delivered it straight to the printers, and the magazine hit the stands the following Thursday.